why we gave him a special round of applause. The next speaker is an exciting guest. And I would like to introduce him with one of my favorite quotes at TV. Kids, it was really nice, but we'll do it again. He is one of my favorite directors, and Carsten Meyer-Groberger is a director, a TV director, has actually produced many TV shows, many sequels that you've probably also watched. He is the person, the mind, the mastermind behind this. He's been in this business since 1999, so he's seen the good old days of TV. Then he actually experienced how less and less money was available, how more and more information had to be squeezed into less time. This only works, of course, when you actually can withstand the stress and still produce something good. And this means that the team that you have on board is motivated optimally and actually led properly. And this is why I would like to ask Carsten to join us and to actually provide us with some insights into this big, glamorous business. When you look into it, it's not that glamorous anymore. No, it isn't. Carsten Meyer-Groberger, welcome, and you will also get a big round of applause. Yes, that's true, and it is a big thing to motivate a team, because each time when I join a new team, I work with completely new people that I've never seen before. I don't know what type of people they are, and it makes no sense for me to tell them exactly what to do. I could do that, but I know that the people won't be motivated if they're just being told to do something. And probably we're not really producing the great result that we're hoping for a scene. Simply speaking, I take the following approach. I have a scene for a TV show, and then I tell my actors to start with what is important to me. The key of the scene is that you want to actually make an appointment, date this lady in the bar. And then I give them a concrete thing to do. For instance, emptying a fridge with molded stuff. And during this process, this actor has to convince the woman to go out with him that very night. And then I only tell the actor this. And I leave it to the actor, and this brings me to the point, how to do this. I won't tell the actor, please actually get this yogurt out of the fridge when you say, okay, do we want to meet tonight? No, I leave it up to the actor how to do it. And with this, the actor has creative possibilities, some creative leeway. And this is the way I motivate my actors. I face actors with a difficult task. When I want to make a date, I usually would actually approach you with a bouquet of flowers rather than with a perished yogurt. And this is why the actors are given a task. They don't know exactly how it's going to work out. So the how to do things is left to the actor. I then watch the actor, and then I will probably correct the outcome.
Mm-hmm. This takes us right to the middle of things. Maybe we should say what you have already produced, a name dropping, so to speak. Which series stand for your name?
Well, the Rosenheim Cops, which is a German crime story, from police action to heart and soul soap operas like The Storm of Love.
Somebody outing themselves?
Then for RTL, I did Cobra 11, so lots of police action films. So I covered a wide variety of formats.
And that means each and every time ARD, ZDF, RTL, different approaches, completely different teams. You always think of the actors because you see them on screen per se. They are great artists, all of them, and they want to be perceived well as personalities, difficult people. But then we move on. So how many people do you normally have for the Rosenheim Cops? How many people are on the set? How different?
Well, I have each time it's different. This year I will do a few sequels of the Rosenheim Cops, and I have 30 to 50 people in front of me as a group, people I have in part never seen before, but I have to work with and motivate, from a regular cable carrier to the organizer, the camera guy, the assistant director, the script continuity assistant, all the way down to the actors. So it's roughly 30 to 50 people that I do not know the type of persons I'm dealing with. And I have to actually merge them into a team so that they, as a team, realize this vision of the Rosenheim Cops, of the crime story of the Storm of Love.
This means that there's not a lot of time to focus on each and every one you meet, and then relatively quickly you get down to the nitty-gritty on the very first day. So your appearance has to be well thought through. So what are you thinking about before you stand in front of your team for the very first time?
Well, I usually ponder and say, I will not know what it will look at the end like. Exactly. I have my plan. I know what's important to me, the style I want to achieve, and what the scene is about. But I try to exclude this deliberately. I never say I know the end result. No, instead of try to get to know the people by allowing them to do something, several jobs, and give them the freedom to do it their style. Because I know I can motivate them that way.
It's like, well, great thought, and we have to do the job. But of course, you can also transfer this to the studio, where you say, this is what I need as a result at the end of the day. This is our schedule. But how we do it? Well, this is where you leave everybody the opportunity to bring in their own personalities and make a contribution, because sometimes you don't even know what they can do.
Exactly. This is the point. You can unleash incredible forces, and all of a sudden the actors actually develop a personality that makes the scene unique. But what is so important is the motivation. With this motivation, I succeed in bringing them together as a team. There's nothing better than this feeling of having created something myself. I was allowed to try myself out, like a camera guy, for instance. I tell him I want the camera all the way, and it has to go down to the other end, and I want to have this desk in the foreground. How he does this, what type of crane he uses, I leave it up to him entirely. And this is, I think, the crucial thing, that you're not dictating everything and that you're not stupidly following your agenda.
Well, now people turn to you, they work with you, because for that they get money. And so it's the same that you could assume that each and everybody at your set wants to do a good job. Now, you know from your own everyday experience that this is not always the case. Not everybody who gets money for that does a good job or is really motivated. How do you treat those individuals who are friendly and distant? Well, those who say, okay.
This is a difficulty. There are many people who are really ever so well paid, and they say, well, no, I don't want to do, I don't feel like doing that, and who only do it half-heartedly. From my past, there were two people that really fascinated me. One who holds seminars in front of between 1,500 and 2,000 people, and he makes everyone listen to him. And what he does is he confronts this huge mass, and he tells them right away from the outset, those who chat will do whatever. So he asks for extreme punctuality. When the course starts at 9, nobody will actually enter at 9:05 and interrupts him while he's already delivering his talk. And people are not chatting because he will tell them, don't ask these stupid questions because I have to run through a huge agenda and I want to actually deliver my talk. I want to get my thing done because other people have paid a lot of money to listen to me and not to your chat. And he's approaching these people direct. No problem. If you differ from my view, if you don't like it, go out. You will be reimbursed your fee and we're fine. But if you remain sitting here, then please obey so that everybody gets the maximum benefit out of this lecture or of this seminar. And this is the important point because otherwise everyone would be late and would be chatting. Just to instill a sense of discipline.
And this is a clear statement made at the very beginning. No matter who you're talking to, no matter what these people make in terms of money, the same applies to everybody. Either you integrate it and you adopt and comply with general rules, or you can leave.
Yeah, exactly. He also, another person said, well, we have concluded a contract. You've paid some money to be here, but you have the freedom to leave at any time. If you dislike it, you just leave. But I also have the freedom to tell you, if you disturb my course, my lessons here, please leave and be reimbursed your fees. So this is the mutual contract we have concluded. And I thought that this idea, this concept was really interesting so that you're not really, as heading a course, you're asking for something. The others have paid to listen to you, but they have to comply with the rules somehow.
So those are the ones who could do more, but have to be challenged. And then there are always those you have, these people who talk, who always interrupt you, who do the distractors, that keep phoning. And sometimes it's like a cop, and you have to get these people.
Exactly, yes. There are various ways. I have to look at my mobile phone briefly because there are various categories of those people disturbing. This is the people who constantly have to show off. They have to be revealed. Then this is the know-it-all, have seen it all, and I usually counter those people. And I try to actually reveal his or her mistakes in front of the group. Then there is the lazy guys sitting like this and the ones who constantly complain about things. And I tell them, well, if it's that bad and if it's all that stupid, why are you still here? You're free to leave. No problem. Then, of course, there's the shy guys, and I try to integrate them in the group by inviting them to show something to others, to make a demo. There are many different types.
So, and if this doesn't help at all, once you have, you saw your tricks in the book, everything you have successfully implemented in your long years of work, is there such a ripcord? Well, there is this thing where I say, there's this point that comes where I say, when I'm back at this set and I work,
well, if somebody tells me, well, I don't feel like doing it, then I tell them, well, let's handle it like this. Let's go to the producer and we'll exchange roles. You're just the director, I'll direct and I'll act, and you'll tell me what to do. And if the producer is fine with this, we'll do it like this. And as long as we don't go over to the producer, let's keep it the way it is. I'm your director, and I'm telling you what to do as an actor. So this role play is an offer that I'm making, especially for the guys who always know better, who've seen it all, done it all. It works fine because they know exactly they're not capable of doing it.
Well, you open your mouth and say something, yes. In our preliminary talks, you used a wonderful metaphor. You said the bridge and the captain. And whenever people have to be managed and that you can transfer it.
It sounds a little provocative. In my sets, there is no democracy. Nobody not always had, everybody has a say, and we'll actually decide democratically on what we do. It's like on a sailing ship, there can only be one skipper. And I have my people, of course, who actually hoist the sails, who release the sails. But I actually am in command at the end of the day. And if I say we'll do it like that, no questions, please.
Because you assume responsibility at the end of the day. This is what it's all about. Is there a question from the audience? So when do you have a director, you can ask questions you've always wanted to ask, burning questions, what goes on at the set, some deals that are being made, arrangements. If not, I would like to ask Stefan, who attentively listened to the presentation. I would like to ask him to join us. Well, when whatever a Carsten has gained at the film set, how he motivates people, how he engages in team building, how in very brave production times he gets maximum support. What would you then do? You've also got a big team in various constellations. You have to motivate your customers. So what can you take and transfer?
This is the exciting reason why we decided to ask Carsten to provide us with some TV insights. Because in our colleague, Luca colleague, we also have many customers that we have to motivate. They often enter the club unmotivated. They dislike training to start with. And then the question is, how do we handle this? Of course, you always try to create high spirits, but there are also customers who simply sit there, I don't feel like training. And then, of course, you have to come up with a good idea as a trainer. Do you simply walk up to them and say, well, if you don't like to train, there's the counter, grab your money and run? This would be one possibility. I have seen a personal trainer that actually sent an unmotivated client home. They simply said, grab your money and leave. Which was okay for that customer, because the customer all of a sudden said, you don't want to feel like training with me any longer? No, the PT said, this is just a bad relationship. It's bad vibes. So really at times you have to think about it. Every time you're faced with people, have to motivate them, have to motivate the teamsters, and you have to try to create the big picture. And this is the same thing with Carsten.
That you make clear to them that it's not here. I'm there for providing fun, and I have to keep motivating you. Now you're sitting there leaning back, energy zero. I'm skeptical. I simply listen. No, you have to reflect the energy. You have to make an input to give me some energy back, that I can make another input. And you have to say that it's a to and fro, that you are not a fool there standing there.
How do you deal with the pressure? With the rating, the TV rating, if the viewers don't like it, because this is an additional pressure point. So if somebody does not like you, they simply don't return. But for TV shows, you have to be successful. How do you deal with this?
Yes, of course. It gets tightened up when you see, okay, those responsible complain about minor things. Then, for example, the hairdo of the actor is something they don't like, and they are a little bit nervous because the ratings are no longer there. But I keep trying. No matter how large the pressure is, there's only one person who decides, what's good, and that's my gut feeling. And my gut feeling at the set says, well, this scene, this is right. And then it's okay, no matter what and how much pressure I'm under.
What you often see is, well, I walk out of the show, what a great show, and then the viewers' rate is really poor. What a frustration. And then there are shows that you walk out and you think they were so-so, and the rating was fantastic. You have to be independent.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's right there in your case in particular, and in my case too, but you are more an individual out there, and I've got a team surrounding surrounding me. There are many people who can have made a mistake, the actor maybe, and it's important to, then move away from criticism and praise. You shouldn't never think that only because there's praise or the rating is good, that you're good, or then there's criticism and the rating was good. This is why I have given a poor performance. No, you have to have a certain feeling for when was I good, irrespective, independent from the others, whether the rating is good or bad, maybe due to many things. Sunshine out there, there is a football championship. You can do whatever you want. And another TV chain, well, but nobody will watch you. So you have to move away from criticism. You have to listen to yourself, and you know when it was really good and not, and the rest I cannot control.
Now, questions for Carsten Meyer-Grobrügge. Keyhole looks, no? Well, now you have a few more spectators. When is the next show on TV? Would you know?
No, I don't really know. Every 3 weeks, at 3-week intervals, Rosenheim Corps. So, Carsten Meyer-Grobrügge.
Carsten Meyer-Grobrügge. This is how he's called and where you can find him on the web.
No, only if somebody's got a personal question to Carsten, he will be there in the speaker lounge available to you. And then I would say, well, Henning is also ready to go. He's here.
So Henning is ready, and the next highlight is already waiting in line. Thank you, Carsten Meyer-Grobrügge.